If you are offered $5 million to be locked in a room for 20 minutes with a 50-50 chance when you leave the room, you will either be 20 days in the future, or 20 years in the future, would you do it? Why or why not? That $5 million better adjust for inflation. Only concern I really have. I'll take the gamble otherwise. What concern? $5 million is still a crap ton of money even after 20 years inflation. I checked a few dates on the BLS.gov CPI calculator and it estimated a purchasing power around $2.5 to $3.3 or so. So, confirmed. $5 million won't be an insane private jet level of wealth, but it's still retire to a middle upper class level immediately, which is pretty good. $5 million isn't private jet wealthy now. Lol. But is it good coffee and socks wealthy? Larry, I'm on DuckTales. r/unexpected community, Reddit link. Well done. You mean the standard of living of a poor Ethiopian farmer 800 years ago? Barely is my guess. Bold of you to assume they had socks 800 years ago. I'm on DuckTales. Looking at net jet rates, you could afford about 12 hours of time as long as you were willing to live under a highway bridge the other 364.5 days of the year. So, that's something? I'm in the high fidelity, first class traveling set. I think I need half a Learjet. Pink Floyd, probably edit, apostrophe catastrophe. Not just downgrade to like a Citation 560 and the charter costs are only $2,500 $3,000 an hour. Even a nice transcontinental jet like a Challenger 605 is $8,000 an hour. Heck, for just the low price of $295,000 you can get a Westwind too. Web link. A lot of your career skills may be dated, as with your education and cultural/social norms. It's enough you could get by without working, but you'd have to live a reasonably inauspicious life. CPI significantly fails to properly account for purchasing power in their inflation calculations. It's basically designed to reflect the number the Fed wants to show. Overall, it's closer to about 3.5%, rather than the 2.1%, or so they try to show. This is also why wage stagnation is such a big thing. So you would have about 2.5 million left in today's dollars. Then that would be subject to taxes, most of which would be at the top marginal rate. Add in city and state taxes and you would be losing approximately 40% of that, so you would be left with the equivalent of 1.5 million today. Although, I suppose if they gave you the $5 million up front and you could invest it before you went into the future, that would change the earnings potential. I'm still not sure if I would do it though. Having a 50-50 chance of losing everyone you know, losing your dog, etc. Is that much money worth being completely alone, with a pool of knowledge that's multiple decades out of date? CPI significantly fails to properly account for purchasing power in their inflation calculations. Yup, you're completely right about that. I just used it for a quick and dirty estimate. It probably isn't the best number, but the comparison table/calculator is easy to look up. I also assumed we were getting this somewhat under the table as a part of the mad science experiment. You're right that if this was above board, that between true inflation and taxes, the opportunity cost seems very unfavorable. Instead of ops question, I generally think the question how much would it take for you to take X risk? Is more interesting because it lets us propose for ourselves what we think it's worth. I'd be tempted, but I'm with you. I don't think I'd get in for $5. I'd like to think that I value my relationships deeply, but there probably is some larger number that would get me to take the risk. $5 million now is way below upper class. For the record, we probably agree, but what do you define as upper class? The middle upper was supposed to signify that it puts you in the top part of middle upper but not truly upper class. By wealth or by resulting passive income, the Key and Need calculators would put our hypothetical adventurers somewhere in the 88th to 97th percentile. 97th is getting close, but it's in the least usable measure, net worth. By available passive income they would be closer to 88th, which isn't rich, but it's still solidly above average unless you're in the Bay Area, NYC, or another very high cost of living area. If you can get to a certain level of wealth via salary, it won't be upper class. A doctor or lawyer could pretty easily get to $5 million. Upper class are the class that actually holds power, not just the people doing well. Ah. Then we do agree, and just have a difference in terminology. I was thinking in terms of the tables on the wiki article on affluence, where some of the scales add a capitalist class or super rich to the top to represent that essentially unobtainable level of wealth. If I calibrated my response the frame of reference you laid out, then yes, we 100% agree. Yo dog, your writing skills are sick. No sarcasm. I like how you began your compliment of their sick writing skills with yo dog. No sarcasm here either, it made me smile. The article on this is probably worth giving a read. Web link. Tell that to Zimbabwe. Walk out into a nuclear wasteland with 5 million worthless pieces of paper. Invest 5 million in bottle caps before going into the room. Stonks. I hope you brought some cheat codes to fight 5,000 pounds of encumbrance. I know I will. You'd still get 20 years of market gains on your existing portfolio. In the Netherlands, banks are starting to charge you for savings. So instead of plus 1%, it's minus 1%. That would definitely suck if you got 5 million in there for 20 years. Wouldn't people just take their stuff out of the bank, though? It's only for the money that's in your savings account. So if you keep it at normal account, you only pay the normal fee for having a bank account. A fee for having an account? Yay, it costs €5 per year to own a bank account. It's free for students. But I know a lot of countries charge money for withdrawing or depositing money. That's not a thing here in the Netherlands. I'm paying $30 per month for my bank account. That's insane. Find a credit union near you, in the USA. Web link. I co-own my bank, credit union, and pay nothing. Same here. Don't feed the banksters. That's insane. I don't pay a fee for anything on my account. Actually, if an ATM charges me a fee, my bank refunds it. To be honest, I don't really miss those 42 cents a month. But I still think they're buttholes for charging for having an account and for savings. You act like it isn't a thing in the States. I have 3 options with my checking account: have a minimum balance of $1,500 at all times, direct deposit at least $900 total a month, or pay a roughly $12 a month fee. I may not worry about number 1 now that my main job pays me enough to insure number 2 on its own, but option number 3 is there. Edit. I'm 100% fine with this. I leave 1 month's worth of expenses in my checking account, everything else gets moved to my savings and investment accounts with a different, online-only bank, with an even higher interest rate. I actually pulled all my money out of a credit union after A, they were unwilling to give me a large enough auto loan to actually purchase a car, and B, cost me $150 in bounce check fees after a failure in their online bill pay system. I will never go back. WTF is the point of having a savings account then? The bank already makes money by loaning your money to other people. So they're charging you a fee to allow them to lend your money out and make interest on it. Wage slavery for life. You there? What year is it? 2041. What can I buy for $5 million? A candy bar? Invest in GME and hold on to it. Easy. Younger me would have jumped at the chance. Older me doesn't want to miss 20 formative years of his kids' lives. Oh yeah. 20-year-old childless single me would have done it, no questions asked. Current 40-year-old me with a wife and a daughter that I want to watch grow up, there isn't a sum of money large enough to miss that. Isn't your wife already grown up? Hold up. If her age is on the clock and all that. Hold my wife, I'm going in. I was thinking at first I might. Then I realized the exact same thing. Except I have no wife or kids. I have 2 cats I'd miss. Plus brothers in their 50s now and a 79-year-old mother. All of whom would certainly be dead. No chance to say goodbye. No last moments reminding them how much they meant to me. They'd be bones in the ground. Not worth it at 100 times the money. You can't buy that time back. Yeah, chance of missing out on my kids would not be worth the even slightest risk. I have stage 4 colon cancer and there is a chance that 20 years in the future there will be more effective treatments or even a cure. I also have my first grandchild due in August, so this would be a hard choice, but I think given the circumstances I would do it. I wish you the best and hope you have many years as a grandparent. I can't imagine what you are going through, good luck. I hope for your safe recovery. I had the same and after chemo, radio, surgery, lower anterior resection, and 6 months of chemo I am now 5 years clear. I had a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old at the time. The key was maintaining a positive attitude throughout and making sure you are fighting to spend your time with the children. Congratulations on your first grandchild. You'll have many more years to watch them grow. Inspiring. Hope you have a wonderful life with your kids. I think everyone would understand why. If you skip 20 days, it improves the chances of you meeting them for the first time. If you skip 20 years and there's a treatment, you get a lifetime with them and your great-grandchildren. Jesus Christ. Good luck to you, man. Blessings to you, definitely in my prayers. You deserve to see your first grandchild, and those that are to come. Peace be upon you. May God bless you always. I'm sending you lots of love and I hope everything works out. Absolutely. I'm single with no kids or family to speak of. I have nothing to lose. Only major loss for me would be, do I age during this? Or do I open the door and still look and feel the same as I did when I entered, essentially having been kept in a state of suspended animation the whole time? I'd be more upset over coming out old and my parents probably being dead. Otherwise I won't miss anything else of value if I go in now. No partner, no kids and only 2 siblings who don't seem to value or respect me much anyway, so maybe they'll appreciate me more after 20 years of absence. They're not getting any of the money though. I'm the one who made the sacrifice here. I don't know why, but your comment reminded me of Fry from Futurama and how there is always someone that will miss you if you just disappeared, even if at the time one doesn't realizes. My answer to almost all of these hypotheticals are always no, cause I have kids. It's always like, would you live alone on an island for 5 years? Or something that makes me really sad to think about, considering my small children kind of need a mom right now. You have 20 years to lose. You can make $5 million, you can't make 20 years. 99.9% won't have $5 million in 20 years. Plus all that time working. Can be pretty tough on health regardless. So I skipped 20 years. So what? Again, no family, no wife or GF, and no kids. I'd rather fast forward into the future with $5 million in my pocket. Wait, are you assuming you age or don't age? Does your view change depending on whether you age or not? Oh, it definitely changes the answer. If I age, not a hope, you can't buy 20 years. But if I am just rich in 20 years, then yeah, I would totally go for it. If you don't age, you'd have one other unique thing going for you for rest of your life. You'd be physically 20 years younger than your memory. Statistically, this makes you much more likely to be one of the last folks alive that remembers key events from your younger years. It's tempting, but no, I couldn't risk missing 20 years of my parents' and my nephews/nieces' lives. My parents would be in their 80s or possibly passed away. It makes me sad just to think about it, missing their last years. And I would miss out on my young relatives growing up too. In fact, no amount of money would compensate for these things. Exactly my thoughts. My son is one. No way would I risk missing the first 20 years of his life. Son, Dad, where the F have you been? Dad, I tried to make the family millions by stepping into a room for 20 minutes, but 20 years passed by instead. Son, F you, Dad. You still get the money. F you, Dad. Money makes sad go away. Your wife worked 2 full-time minimum wage jobs and they still grew up in poverty. A job now can be worth a lot more than a fortune later. My parents will likely be dead by then. Probably some other family too. All my friends would have gone 20 years without me. Sure, I could probably try reconnecting, but it wouldn't be the same. And I could make new friends. But it wouldn't be the same. Then again, the odds are good I wouldn't have these friends in 20 years anyway. This question is making me think about all kinds of things I don't want to. Say you get the choice of $5 million or you get to select one of your friends as a permanent friend, perma-friend if you will. Is that friendship worth $5 million to you? Okay, this one is a happier question. I think I'd go with the perma-friend. Because as great as money is, I have enough to be happy. And friendships are great. So having a good friend forever would really make my life great. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.